The fight between Durin's Bane and the Grey Pilgrim on the Bridge of Khazad-Dum is one of the most popular fights. Let's take a closer look at what happened there according to the books and what Gandalf did later. If you like our videos, subscribe to the channel and write a comment. It helps us create better and better content. As the Fellowship fled towards the eastern exit of Khazad-Dum, a much more terrifying being appeared behind the mass of orcs and trolls, the fiery demon, a corrupted Maiar serving Morgoth. Durin's Bane wielded a narrow dagger in one hand and a multi-thonged whip in the other. Gandalf staggered on his staff at the sight. He was already exhausted from the journey. Durin's Bane caught up with the Fellowship when Gandalf was already halfway across the bridge. The wizard turned and proudly raised Glamdring into the air. The Balrog tensed. "You cannot pass," he said. The orcs stood still and a dead silence fell. "I am a servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of Anor. You cannot pass. The dark fire will not avail you, flame of Udun. Go back to the shadow. You cannot pass." Naming himself a servant of the secret fire, Gandalf declared to the Balrog that he was a servant of Eru Ilúvatar. The flame of Anor is a more complex issue, as Tolkien never clarified what Gandalf was precisely referring to here. We can interpret this in two ways. On one hand, Anor is an elvish word meaning the sun. So in this case, Gandalf would be saying, "I wield the flame of the sun," positioning himself in opposition to the darkness represented by the Balrog. On the other hand, by uttering these words, Gandalf might as well have been referring to his ring of power, Narya, the ring of fire. Udun, however, is the name of Morgoth's first fortress, where Gandalf's opponent presumably once resided. The Balrog's fire seemed slightly dimmed, but the fallen Maiar attacked. The dagger clashed with Glamdring. A flash of lightning occurred, and the Balrog's blade shattered into pieces. Enraged, the fiery demon quickly jumped onto the bridge. Gandalf raised his staff and struck it on the ground. The staff broke, and a blinding white fire burst into the air. The bridge collapsed under the Balrog's feet. In the last second, the demon lashed out with a whip, which wrapped around the wizard's legs and pulled him into the abyss. They fell for a long time. The Balrog wrapped around the wizard in a fiery embrace until they plunged into the icy water. The dimmed Durin's Bane resembled a slimy creature. They struggled for a while until the creature fled into a tunnel of darkness. The Balrog fled along winding paths, always upwards, and the wizard had no intention of giving up. After 8 days of fighting, they first reached Khazad-Dum and then, by the endless stair, reached the summit of the Silver Tyne. There, their battle continued uninterrupted for 2 days and 2 nights. With the last reserves of his energy, Mithrandir pushed the Balrog from the mountain peak, ending its life. The wizard was engulfed in darkness, and the Maiar's spirit left his body, though it still remained in Arda. As the only one of the Istari who remained true to his mission, Gandalf was brought back to life by Eru himself. He was now the only true emissary of the Valar in Middle-earth. It can also be said that his power was unlocked so that the wizard could display the true strength of a Maiar. His mission, however, remained unchanged. If a direct conflict arose, only a few beings in Middle-earth could withstand Gandalf's internal force now. He awoke again on the mountain peak on February 14th. He lay there alone and naked, gazing at the stars. Each day seemed an eternity to him. In this state, after 3 days, Gwaihir found him and took his body to Lothlórien, where the wizard was clothed and rested. During his stay, the Istar asked Gwaihir to scout the area. He learned about the further fate of the Fellowship and the solitary journey of the 2 hobbits to Mordor. Despite his keen eyesight, the Lord of the Winds was not able to see everything. Gandalf sensed that the ring was now beyond his reach, but learned something about the fate of the remaining members of the Fellowship. He decided to head to Fangorn. Before leaving, Galadriel presented him with a new staff. In the forest, Gandalf met Treebeard. However, the two did not engage in conversation. 2 days later, hobbits appeared in Fangorn. Mithrandir allowed events to take their own course and did not interfere with their arrival. 2 days later, the three hunters, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, appeared in Fangorn. Following the trail of the hobbits, they found the wizard in the forest. The three hunters were happy to see Gandalf.